Hello, everyone. Welcome to Miami, as Will Smith once sung back in the 90s or 2000s. I do not know. But hello, everyone. It is Miami. Peace has just mentioned that it's too cold to race. And however, it's not too cold in Miami because I'm sure that it is a beautiful sunshine over there. And am I even allowed to say Will Smith? Is he one of the nasty celebrities now? I do not know, to be honest. But if so, I apologize profusely. Shocking stuff indeed. Then, of course, we've got 19 drivers on the grid. I don't think we've had a full grid, have we, in gold yet? But never mind. Anyway, as Farf has given us the green light, which means that I can give us the green light as well for the Drivers and the Constructors Championship, then, which I'm sure that you're all hanging on with my every whim then as we go through the standings there. And, of course, in the standings, it looks like this. Too good to miss. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 drivers that are yet to score in gold. That is a lot of drivers that are yet to score, obviously. Flippy leads the championship, but of course, I think this is the first time in Flippy's career in gold that he's leading the championship. Incredible stuff indeed. Mehdi in second position on a strong form at the moment, especially after Saudi Arabia last week. Brabbit in third position at 11 points drift. Villash in 36 points ahead of the Ferrari, then with, of course, I'm only racing once this season where he got a win, but of course, unfortunately, unable to race still then with Sweet on 22 points. Impressive stuff since the last time we've seen Sweet in gold. Nameless on 16, Kieran on 16, 12 for Julian, who is now a Mercedes driver. Congratulations, Julian, who stepped out to a full-time seat. 4 points for Equaz, 2 for Peas, 1 for Chazza, 1 for Legends as well. In the Constructors' Championship, it is Kick Sauber that leads the way on 63 World Championship points, and on 52 points is the Mercedes. I have not got the stream up. That is shocking stuff indeed. No, then it's Aston Martin that is second, not Mercedes. Third is the Alpine team. Then hang on 1 second. I can't do two things at once. And qualifying has started behind me whilst I'm faffing about with me phone. Is it working? Oh gosh, I can hear myself. All right, mute that. Goodness gracious me. Also, make sure you like the stream, share the stream, and all that kind of stuff because it's good for the anagram. No, what's it? Algorithm or something like that. Alpine in third position on 42 points, 41 points for the Red Bull team. McLaren on 20 points. They are 21 points away from the Red Bull team. The top four have already waltzed away, haven't they? It's very close, though, in the top four. Fantastic. Ferrari on 19, and then 2 points for Haas and 2 points for the Williams team there. A lot of low scorage in the gold, but that's because there's so many reserves driving. There's a lot of full-time drivers that have been MIA. In the joint constructors at 149 points is the Red Bull team, who also lead in the closed practice session today. Sorry, closed shakedown session today. So very impressive stuff from Isaac Hadro, who's top. Kick Sauber second and 9 points away. Third position is the Aston Martin, who have only 3 points away from the Kick Sauber, 12 points away from the Red Bull. Alpine are on fourth position. Ferrari are on 115. 109 for the McLaren team. Haas on 87. 47 for the Racing Bulls. Mercedes on 38. And the Williams Mercedes are on 22 points, I think. 29 points. I apologise profusely. That's shocking stuff indeed. That, as of course, said, the qualifying has started, and so we got cars behind us. But let's take a look at the Miami International Circuit, or something along those lines. I do not know, to be honest. It's probably not the favourite of the drivers. I've already seen Kieran not too pleased about driving around Miami, of course, as it snakes its way around the Miami Dolphin Stadium. There's 3 DRS zones at the start, finish straight down the back straight, and of course that under the underpass there into turn 17 as well there. So there are a lot of DRS zones around this circuit, and so that's going to be pretty impressive stuff indeed. I thought I had my mic mute then. That would have been quite bad indeed. However, it would have been good for you folks then. And shamefully, I forgot to charge me phone. Charge me phone, and of course also charge me controller as well. Hello to Immortal. It's great to see Immortal in the stream now. Immortal not racing here tonight. I'm just having a quick look. No, he's not then. But of course, with the horrific stuff going on in Iran at the moment, but it's great to. But more importantly for Immortal, he's safe. And more importantly, as well as that, well, not as important as he's safe, but very close second is Immortal's got internet as well, because I I've got to say, without internet, I'll be going stir crazy now. Van Von starts his journey in qualifying as well. Equals ALR with love hearts and good luck. Gold says Nolson, who's on the side of a football pitch. MHD chilling top 20. Vessier there's in the D-Man says hi, and that you're the GOAT. Thank you very much, D-Man. I'm the G-Man. And also as well, I've ate a lot of Scrabble letters today, and I've got very bad vowel movements. Having said that, I do have explosive diarrhea, and I had it in how to work today. And I've got to say that for the first time in probably a long time, I've had to have a poo at work. Shocking stuff indeed. I know, I do, but I do love to share everything. And so does Van Von as well, the Haas car. And of course, so as we mentioned, a lot of reserve drivers over the course of the season. However, we've got to give a warm welcome to Julian, who's now a full-time driver in the Mercedes, and of course already elevated himself up a few positions in gold as well, which is good stuff indeed. Let me get rid of that, because my phone keeps farting at me, which I forgot I had that ringtone. Just watching Kaz coming down the back straight then, or is it a long straight? I don't know. It's a long straight on the calendar. Goodness me, no way, Pedro. Across the line there comes Van Von on a 26.181 there to set us on our qualifying journey here in Miami. So we got Ayrton, who's out on the circuit as well. Let's hope Ayrton don't crash into any safety cars or parks in the exit of the pit lane. Of course, got disqualified. He's been disqualified a few times there. So that was, of course, for passing the safety car in Japan, and also parking himself in the pit exit of Zandvoort. How do I turn my thing off? Ben? Goodness me, I've got all these notifications farting at me. Nameless is now the fastest, 600 a second away at the moment. Delano is currently third fastest, the Mercedes car. So well done indeed there to Delano. Currently 4 cars have set a time on the board so far then. It is a Sam Swift Ninja, of course, the 4-time world champion. It's a space tonight up for grabs then, just for a laugh for this race then, to do a last 2. KD then Hale Malton, and great to see Malton in there, and Mad Knight's also broken. Oh my gosh, what has happened? And there is problems afoot. Someone's been disqualified from the session. I didn't see who it was, because I was... No, have they been disqualified? I do not know, to be honest. Flippy's got the fast up race, and I think I'm just... that's what I get for reading the comments when I should have been looking at the stream. But Flippy has gone fastest there, 300 a second in front of Brabbit, who's second, with Sweet in third position. Julian in fourth. Fifth is Nameless. Sixth is Van Bon, with Delano seventh. Cam in eighth position. Ayrton is in ninth position at the moment. Now that has been changed ever so slightly, because Equals has gone into eighth position at this moment in time there. Kieran currently on circuit then, of course, in 15th position. I'm sure that Kieran won last night as well. However, I was kind of dozing off because I love listening to Novelty's beautiful tones as the Williams team are doing a lovely bit of a slipstream in there down the back straight before accelerating away and into turn 17 and into turn 18 and then into turn 19 across the line. Chazza goes across the line, goes 6 fastest. Chazza's qualifying this season has been pretty good. Williams have had 2 fastest laps out of the three races so far, which haven't been too bad at all then. As Meatloaf says, 2 out of 3 ain't too bad. Village then, who's threading the eye of the needle through the first sector here. Remember, Charles Leclerc had a horrific shunt there. Was it in 2022 or 2023? Venom's joined the session then, so Rufus Venom, who of course who's been very good in the old reserve and as of late. That's good stuff indeed. What about the second Ferrari of Percy out on circuit as well then, and as well as Legend or Legende, don't know which one's which then. Think Medi got a 5-place penalty. Thank you very much, KD. Medi has unfortunately got a 5-place grid penalty, which is pretty disappointing indeed. Remember, he was on pole position last time out in Saudi Arabia, so that's going to hamstring up Medi ever so slightly. I'm glad that KD is watching the stream, because I'm certainly not, am I? Shocking stuff indeed. Down into 17 we go. I don't know why, it feels like a very long week since the last time we raced, since the last time Gold raced. I don't know what's going on. Perhaps I've just had a long week at work. Out the final turn there for Percy, goes 11 fastest out for the Ferrari. Just watching his teammate now, who's invalidated Village. Of course, Village on a high after a superb performance. Of course, he's had scored in every single race that Village has participated in so far, which I must say is a very impressive start to his career. He had a collision with Kieran Kieran, says KD. So, oh dear. Hopefully Kieran looks like he's still in the session there. He's in the pit lane, so the McLaren team may be able to do some TLC. Not tables, ladders and chairs, but tender love and care. Evening to Camry, so good luck to all drivers well with a €10 super chat as well. I think it's a super chat. I do not know, to be honest. Perhaps I should probably do my research. But there we go. It's my nephew's birthday tomorrow. Fantastic. I must admit, I didn't even know. So that's shocking. I must admit, I'm a very bad uncle now, and that's not good either. As my sister just I suppose, going over tomorrow because there's some cake. And to be fair, if there is cake, I'll be there. Here's Emerson. Of course, happy birthday to Hugo today. Of course, Hugo is Emerson and Ayrton's dog. Of course, so good stuff indeed there. And of course, hopefully they could, Emerson and Ayrton, get some points on the board here tonight. There's no pressure, but Hugo is watching, and so am I. Glad YouTube gives you the ability to rewind the live stream. Oh, so KD cheated then, shocking. I would never do that. And also, if I tried doing that, I'd probably break my phone then. Here comes Emerson then into this chicane. And Emerson there has taken too much of the chicane. Now has cut the corner, and unfortunately, he is going to be given a slap on the wrist, because that is shameful stuff indeed there for Emerson. As my hands are freezing. Who's out on second moment? Flippy currently on pole position there. Flippy was on pole position back in the Chinese Grand Prix, currently chin in the pit lane at the moment. Whilst there's a two-kick Saubers, once again, of course, constructors champions from a few seasons ago, while Brabant and Sweet are now second and third. Good stuff indeed there, with Van Von currently out on circuit, 4/10 of a second up there. I love that chicane. I know not many people like the chicane, especially drivers there, but I think that's an error generator chicane. It's the same with the Singapore Sling from when they used to have that between 2008 and 2012, which I'm still unhappy they took it away. Of course, we had some great incidents down there, great action as well. Of course, Kimi Räikkönen crashed there in the 2008 season. Kobayashi went flying into the barrier in 2011, or was it 12? I'm trying to remember if they had that disgraceful step nose. Across the line there comes Van Von, full fast in the Haas for the Haas car. Van Von is yet to score so far. He's had two no points finishes and a DNF there. So hopefully he can brush his overalls down and really get some times and points on the board there. Of course, KD will be very interested to see what happens here tomorrow night, along with the other drivers in silver. Silver very much is in the balance at the moment. Love Nameless's helmet design. That's fantastic stuff indeed there. Coming into the final sector as well, but Nameless is on a cool down lap. What about Delano? Also on a cool lap as well. Equals, isn't this? He flies past me as well, almost taking my fake mustache off. Through into turn 8, I believe it is. And then there's the first of 3 DRS zones. Or is it the second of 3 DRS zones? I do not know. All I know is there's 1 DRS down the start finish straight, 1 DRS on this back straight, and 1 DRS on the other back straight as well. We've got 2 back straights. Can we have 2 back straights? Not really, but never mind. I'm making up as I go along. Look at how much Equals is off the circuit there, using every part of the circuit. That's absolutely splendid stuff indeed there for Equals. Yellow flag is fluttering in the Miami breeze there, of course, as I'm sure as Benny's gone fastest by 4/10 of a second there from the Alpine driver. He has a 5-place grid penalty, so he may be fastest. He may win qualifying, but unfortunately he will not be on pole position there. And according to my stats, that means that he will not also get pole position, because to get pole position you have to start on pole position, and that is the cut of my jib, and I'm going to stick with it. Equals down into an position because of Mehdi's incredible lap there. Almost half a second in front of Flippy. That's a mega statement of intent from the Alpine team. Across the line, Equals does not only improves by 0.06 of a second there, so Equals lost a bit of time then. Here comes Kieran, who's been bashed about by the sounds of it in the opening stage of this qualifying session there. Ayrton, the second Alpine, and his teammate is currently fast there, so no pressure from Ayrton, the young Brazilian. He needs to get a time on the board. There's Pease, who said it was cold out there, but let's see. His tires aren't going to be cold anymore. As locking up there, hopefully he hasn't got a flat spotted front left tire, because of course that's going to very much rattle the fillings in his teeth if he had fillings, which I don't think anyone has fillings anymore. Of course, that was a saying from one of the old F1 games. I'm sure it's 99 or 2000 or 2001 when Martin Brundle used to chip in there. And if anyone remembers the F1 97 game, then you also used to hear Martin Brundle say, "You're right there, Murray." Which I must say, if Farf was in the coach box, I'll be saying, "You're right there, Farf." Sadly, Farf has hurt his hand, hasn't he? Which is a big blow for me, because of course Farf is my agent, which means I now can't sign for anyone until until I'm better. Until I'm better, I'm never going to be better. Until Far's better. Across the line now, Pete's goes 12 fastest there. A whisker behind Equels at the moment there. Of course, this is a I must say, it's not a very spectacular track, in my opinion. There's Venom out on circuit in the Aston Martin. Emerson's going for another bite of the cherry as well. There is Venom, as I've just deleted someone off my spreadsheet, but hopefully they're not important. Miami last season pole position, of course, was by Malta, who's not here tonight there. The season before was actually by Brabham as well. The last season pole position time was a 1:25.208 then. So you've already broken that fastest lap then, already by a 10th of a second thanks to Medi. That's impressive stuff indeed. Very impressive indeed. Is that the all-time lap record around here? I think it is actually, isn't it? Let me quickly have a look through. Brabham pole position in season 11. Ruthless Venom goes 17 fastest. What about the older Hilton then? Or is he the younger Hilton? I think he's the younger one actually. Across the line, and Emerson goes 16 fastest. Really struggling, Emerson is. But remember, bearing in mind then, as I've mentioned for anyone, it's been struggling on this game now. Of course, or when they get a new wheel, it's very different, isn't it? Purty was on pole position back in season 9. Season 8 was Boxtel. Season 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I don't think we had any races around here. This is our 5th run of the Miami Grand Prix in ALR. Yes, indeed, a very new circuit. And of course, it will be on the calendar for next season, I believe. But the question is whether the Mad Rig will be on the circuit on the calendar next season. And of course, it will be a DLC rather than a full game, as Legend has currently gone 14th fastest. Then Percy's made his way up in the 7th position whilst I've been waffling on. Then Percy hoping to get some first points on the board here this evening, as he's taken a shortcut into turn 1 and 2. So as Ruthless coming back in the pits, and Village and Sweet are both not set times just yet. Medi is currently on pole position, then, albeit he has a 5-place grid penalty. It was also Santa Knowles' birthday. Are we signing Squash and Squash Tomato and so is that real Ashton there? I hope you don't squash your tomato, because of course tomatoes are very good for you. Having said that, tomato always reminds me of when I'm ill, because I usually have tomato soup when I'm ill. Oh gosh, and Percy gave a glancing blow with the arm go, and another glancing blow as well. Goodness me, good job they make them. Solid in Italy, in Maranello in Italy. Which of course there was a really funny image of the 2000. Was it the SF26, where of course a lot of people thought that the Ferrari broke down there, which was kind of alarming, wasn't it? Here comes Cam now, on board with Cam. Very frustrated last night was Cam, wasn't he? Of course, his team put him on the wrong tyres. They put him on very worn medium compound tyres, which absolutely hamstrung his performance for the remainder of the session there. And that cost Cam dearly, didn't it? I don't know the full race results, because I'm a terrible so-and-so. I should do my homework more. But let's be honest about it. Just like in school and college, I never did. Actually, I did my homework in school. I never did it in college, to be honest. Ironically, I think I got better grades in college, because I was faffing around more, and also because we got to watch James Bond at Casino Royale in our English lessons. Well, to redo English, because I failed the first time around. I only got a D, sadly, which in my other part of life I usually get a lot of D's. Oh, goodness me, Brabham's out of qualifying. He's in 2nd position at the moment. Cam there just coming out of 17. Now look at that, the car is just not compliant, and into the pit lane he comes. So Cam there, I reckon he abandoned his time there. He wants to have a final run then when the track is at its peak performance. Here's Ayrton. Does he need the car to be in peak performance? Absolutely not. He's probably got the best looking car on the grid for the best looking man on the grid as well. Ayrton there into turn 17 as well, or is it turn 18? I think it's 17. Here's 18 and 19 to finish off the lap then. Coming out to the line now then for Ayrton. This is going to be an improvement here, is it? No, it is by the minutest of margin. 1900 a second out for Ayrton. He has found the limit of the Alpine now, and he's going to be 16th on the grid. Look, there's everyone out on circuit now, apart from Cam. As Van Von, whilst we was looking at Ayrton, Van Von is currently on the front row of the grid. That is perfection for the Haas team. As Delano in 11th position, that's a great result for Delano, and he's got one more time run. So is Chazza. Let's watch Chazza as he threads the eye of the needle. Oh no, Chazza's overstepped the limit of amnesia there. Amnesia, that's not right, but never mind. is overstepped the limit to the and so is Delano as well with less than a minute to go. The two drivers had a spectacular qualifying. It's unfortunately why have we got no XP? It's unfortunately that's it for their qualifying sessions. Cam is out of qualifying. Chaz and I think Delano finished as well unless they can find a shortcut somewhere. Sweet is starting us up down to 5th position. That's how competitive this grid is. Nikat Medi is also on the circuit as well. We're going to stick with Julia then, who's coming down the back straight then. And why have I got no XP in the chat? It's because I haven't actually said anything yet. But of course, give the stream a like and all that kind of stuff because it helps all out being suggested videos and all that kind of stuff. And then, of course, so we can get to our goal of how many? I don't know how many subscribers we've got now, but I think we want to get to 800 or 900, something like that. If we get to I wonder if we get to 1,000. I was at the limit of amnesia. Yeah, that's it. I forgot. It's not amnesia, is it? It's I don't know. It's what Martin Brundle says. Checker flag has fallen. Ayrton's in 16th. Legends in 14th position. Cam is out of qualifying. Chaz and Delando finished as well, sadly. Out of the final turn. Julian then out of turn 19. It's 4th position there for Julian. He's on the 2nd row at the grid. Van Vaughn is out of qualifying. Flippy is in the second to last sector. Here's Sweet. He's a 10th of a second up. Almost out of limits there, but Sweet goes 5th fastest there. An improvement by the Minutus and margin. Medi has gone faster still, and it's a 24.888. That's an incredible time from Medi, and currently it is pole position. But remember, that unfortunately he's got a 5-place grid penalty. Flippy's found 4/10 of a second. I don't think it's going to be enough, but it might be in the same postcode. Out of the final turn, it is 2nd fastest there. Flippy is currently on pole position there with Medi there with a 5-place grid penalty. Unfortunately, Percy's got a lovely slipstream off the back of his teammate. That's great teamwork there. As Villash has not set a time there. Oh my goodness me! Villash is going to be down the back row, back end of the grid then. Kieran's up into 10th finish there. Nameless is on circuit as well. We're just watching Percy across the line. Percy stays 7th fastest. Nameless has found a 10th for a second there. He's going to need to find more than that. Can he get himself back into 8th position? No! Pease is up into 5th position now. What about Chaza? Chaza is finished in qualifying, so it is Medi who's the fastest of the qualifying session, but it is Flippy on pole position then for the Miami Grand Prix. His 2nd pole position of the season as well. So good stuff indeed there for Flippy and for the Aston Martin team. They are really cooking here, as the young cool guys say. Aston Martin 2nd pole position there, of course. Alpine 2 pole position. Aston Martin 2 pole position. There's 2 apiece there for the constructors. And in terms of all-time pole position, that is Flippy's 3rd pole position of his career. What a start to the season has been for Flippy. Hats off indeed then. Immortal is loving it there with the old looking very impressed indeed is Immortal there. As Medi there is certainly becoming a major force on the side of the championship battle then. Equal scraps. Medi is on it. He does have a 5-place grip on it, or does he? I can't even see that there. With Flippy alongside him. Yes, he does. So Flippy alongside him on row 1. Oh gosh, I don't want to sweat too much tonight then, because I got a new T-shirt on, and because I'm stingy as Forrest Wallet, or as tight as Forrest Wallet, I should say. I don't really want to put this in the wash, as I've only worn it once there. It's very grey and overcast here in Miami. This is not what we came to Miami to see. It's absolutely horrific stuff indeed. I was expecting to get me legs and knees out, but that is absolutely not the case either. I'm going to have to get me old slippers on, I think, there and snuggle up by the fire. I'm sure it's very hot out there still here in Miami. Of course, we are in the car park, which of course gives us horrific F1 fans from the 80s who had to witness Caesar's Palace, even though we did have a championship showdown there, didn't we, in 81? And did we have a championship show down there in 82? Potentially, I can't remember now. Or basically, I don't know. But even so, then, of course, this is still an impressive circuit, considering the fact it is in a car park, isn't it? But anyway, we're just waiting for the cars to line up on the grid now. We know Equaz is on the medium tyres because the garage is kind of giving it away. The McLaren team are very much are not hiding anything now, are they? We can't see Kieran's mechanics there, but they all look quite content there in the pit, in the garages there, just watching their men go to work there. Ferrari then, of course, they got one driver at the front, at the back, I should say, of Villash then, who scored in 3 races so far, but that is not ideal at all. So that is going to be difficult stuff indeed there. What's going on here? So just let me get rid of all these notifications there. And well, it looks a bit sunnier on circuit than compared to what it was in the pit lane. But of course, Farf is hosting tonight. So what do you expect? Then of course we always expect overcast conditions or rain when Farf is Farf's about. Then isn't he? Then of course he is from up north in the UK. So of course he brings the rain wherever he goes. I think he's going on. I think him and Smith are going on a stag do in April. I can't remember where they're going now, but if it's somewhere sunny, expect it to be raining for that stag do. Hello to Dom. Then come on, Everson, the tiny man. He's a little man. It's our quote off I'm a Celebrity, where they used to where Anton Degue as taking the mick out of Dennis Wise. Flippy pole position there, number 3 of his career. Van Vaughan is alongside him on row 1. This is an opportunity for Van Vaughan tonight to get himself off the scoreboard. Remember, there's only 16, 17 rounds in the championship this season. Brabham in third position there. Julian then on his first start officially as a Mercedes driver as snug as a bug in fourth position in between the kick salvers. Swedes once again on pace in fifth position. Many who's fast in qualifying but has been slapped with a 5-place grid penalty there. Percy in seventh position. Pease, who is never a fan of formation laps there, is in 8th position now. I think he's done his installation laps. That's all he needs, Pease. 9th position is Nameless, with 10th is Cam. It's an all Red Bull. Row 5. 11th is Kieran. And of course, Kieran is usually one of the quicker drivers. Love the helmet, by the way. But Kieran down in 11th position. But you already heard that Kieran is not a fan of this circuit. Sweet Crown in 12th position. In the course, the beautiful pink RB. Sorry, Racing Bull. 13th position is Chaza. Equals in 14th position there. 15th is Delano. I think Delano and Chaza could have been in the top 10 there. They made a mess of their final laps there. Emerson is up into 16th position there. 17th is Legend or Legende. 18th is Ayrton, the last runner on the medium compound tyres there. 19th is Ruthless Venom and Villash in 20th position. 3 drivers on the hard tyres there. Everyone else has gone medium in this one there. As you all line up on the grid now, preparing for the start of the Grand Prix. No Mushroom in this chart. Yeah, I wonder where Mushroom is there. Of course, he was mentioning that he had to take his... did he have to take his... go and visit his dad there, who is in hospital at the moment there, of course, having quite a major bit of surgery there, is Mushroom Senior there, so we wish him all the best. And also, as well, of course, Scuba Stew, who was, used to be a driver in Bronze and Cobalt there, finally come out of hospital as well, so it's good to hear that Scuba Stew is back at home and recovering nicely. Evening, Sean. Good evening to Potstuffer. Come on, sweet. Some rapid quality times there. 5 lights are on. At least we got a full set of lights tonight. We didn't last night. We only had 4. It's lights out, and here we go then from Miami. And Fliffy's had a decent start, but of course the insiders comes down into turn 1, and he takes the lead. Cam has taken the lead, and Fliffy, the championship leader, has lost pole position there. Fliffy down in second position. Bravo in third. Then we got some more cars all over the show in the midfield here. Look at this. There's cars here, there, and everywhere. As of the insiders, Nameless, he is through. No, as Pease is still back through in 8th position. Great manoeuvre there for Pease, and Pease has shown that you do not need a formation lap. Sweet is on the outside, Crown I should say, and Summer contact. There's debris gone off one of the cars, and now we got a bit of slipstream going on then. DRS is not available just yet then, but look at this, and the goodness me, there's side by side then. There's 2 Red Bulls, there's a Racing Bull as well. There's war within the camps here at the Racing Bull and Red Bull teams, and Cam is up to 9th, down into 10th. Contact, he's in the wall, and Sweet is in the wall, and he's going to be absolutely furious with that Red Bull. As he got a nudge and he got a helping hand into that wall there, and I think he probably expected more space there, so he's going to be absolutely furious, isn't he, with that Red Bull. I'm not sure if it was Nameless or Cam, and I should have been paying more attention. Going to complete lap 1, there's the possible strategies there. Knowlesy was not convinced by the strategies last night in the event league, was he? But how dare you question AWS? And it's always right then. Out to complete lap 1 then, the gap is half a second then from Cam, from Van Vaughan then Flippy, and Sweet's in the pit lane there, so Sweet then unfortunately is already on the back foot. Percy all over the back of Mehdi, who was superb. And of course won his first race of his career last time out in Saudi Arabia, and should have been on pole position here tonight there, but unfortunately had issues with Kieran in qualifying. We did not see that on stream then, so I'll be keeping an eye out to see what occurred there, so we can update you guys later on tonight or tomorrow, depending on how I feel. So Sweet is now all the way down 8 positions then, so he's at the back of the Crocodile here then, as everyone is in DRS range. Then, apart from Sweet, unfortunately, who's right at the back of the field at the moment. Oh, I got a real bad indigestion coming on. I had a mini roast actually for dinner today, which it worked. What's happened? There's Anarchy here, and oh goodness me, as Percy has been squeezed out by Pease, that McLaren is not going to get any space surely. And Nameless slams the door shut on the McLaren team, and there is Kieran there, who's all over the gearbox now. DRS said it's going to be available, but at the moment I think apart from Van Von, it's all going to be neutralised down this bike range. You can see the highway in the background. It's a very unique circuit, this one is. Whether it's great or not remains to be seen. Percy, nope, Pease, nope, Flippy has taken the lead on the Miami Grand Prix as Medi has got past Julian and it's now moved himself over to 6th position. Nope, made that 5th position there. As of course Medi we've seen on one lap pace is absolutely flying. Julian of course is on the hard tyre. He's the only one of the top runners that's been on the hard tyres. Everyone else in the points is on the medium compound tyres. Village is also on the hard tyres as well, along with Ruthless and Sweet Crown as well. Ruthless is in the pits there, so something's gone wrong with the second Aston Martin car then, so that is disappointing for Ruthless, unfortunately. Julian is currently all over the gearbox now of the Alpine driver. As you can see, that there's a lot of harvesting going on. Watching Flippy now, and see Fred's the other needle then. Of course, it's very similar to Valencia, this part of the circle is, isn't it? It always reminds you of Valencia, this does, which is probably a completely different kettle of fish than what you were probably thinking what this circuit reminds you of there. And at the moment now, as once again the two Williams drivers have swapped position. Of course, the two Williams have different liveries. Who's out up the inside? Delano having a sniff then, but nothing more than that. I think that really antagonising the Williams drivers is Delano. Delano's got some pace tonight there. I know, I love this shot. And here is our, what should have been our pole sitter, but unfortunately a 5-place grid penalty has really cost it. The two kick salvage, and I think Sweet is very much keeping Brabbit at arm's length at the moment there. And look at this, he's going up the inside here, and goodness me, the kick salvage are starting to fight full position as well. I don't think that Brabbit was expecting that, but Sweet has been certainly incredible this season. He really has indeed, Sweet has scored in every single race along with Brabbit as well. That's why the kick salvage team are leading the Constructors' Championship and aiming for third Constructors. Second as a kick salvage constructor, of course they won a salver a few years ago, I believe. I need to fact check myself on that one, or maybe Farf will be in the comments and tell me to shut my pie hole. Watching Village here, Village who's not made much progress. He is now in 16th position. There he is, and there he is here in the Ferrari. Got Emerson, of course, the double world champion in 7th position. Remember that Emerson's come back to racing after several years out. Very much a Schumacher-like a return there for Emerson there in the Mercedes years there. But unlike Schumacher, hopefully Emerson will get more than one podium on his second run in ALR. On board with Village, can he have a look? He's going to squeeze the inside there, but Delano there has done a good job of defending us, cracking the race indeed. Love it, keep it coming. Flippy still, look at this, and it's Van Von hassling the Haas car. Of course, Van Von did take the lead there down into turn 1, the short run down into turn 1, but then of course Flippy retook the lead, and it's now looking a bit comfortable, but of course it's very difficult to DRS range. I say that, but the two Red Bulls have swapped position as Cam is, as he allowed his teammate Nameless through. Nameless, of course, who's had a very good start this season as well. Of course, Immortal not raced the last 2 weeks, and has he? Unfortunately, because of the horrific stuff going on in Iran there. But every time a full-time Red Bull driver has raced, and they have scored, then Nameless has scored in the free race, then of course, and as well as Immortal won the opening race in Albert Park, Australia a few weeks ago. However, that battle between the two Red Bulls has actually really hurt the Red Bulls, because now Nameless is out of DRS range of Percy, so he's really got to work hard now, and the harder he works, the more steering he cranks into this sector here. He's got to hurt those tyres. Contact as Julian went to the back of Medi there and had to correct the car, and because of that, that was not a good run on this straight here. Thank you very much for joining us, but of course like the stream and all that kind of jazz there, so I'm getting professional at this. The two McLarens have swapped position there as Equals has got past Kieran there. Kieran is struggling, but we heard already that Kieran is not a fan of this circuit there. is Kieran there, but of course Kieran and Mehdi had contact in qualifying as well. We do not know if that damaged the McLaren either in qualifying. Remember, there's only 18 minutes in qualifying, so if there is major floor damage from Kieran's point of view, they wouldn't have been able to fix it. They would have been able to fix it between qualifying and the race set, but the unfortunate problem for Kieran is that he's now in the midfield, and of course midfield is the carbon fibre zone of the Grand Prix racing, isn't it, where you can very much lose your bits then. I certainly lose my bits in there. Sweet! Oh no, and Sweet's off the circuit! Oh my goodness me, what's happened there for Sweet? But that incredible start for the Kick Sauber has come to nothing, and he's dropped from 4th down into the 17th position, and Sweet is in the pit lane. There's not much damage, there's no damage at all on the Kick Sauber. Sweet's got a 10-second penalty for coming into the pits as well. There is furious there is going to be steam coming out of that helmet of Sweet. What happened? Was there contact? We do not know. We'll hopefully hear from someone in the comments then about what happened. If anyone knows, please enlighten me. Sweet is now dropped down into 90th position on the hard tyres, and unfortunately for Sweet, he's also got a 10-second penalty, and I think that might be a bit of frustration there. The top now the Valin 6 is now dropped down to 5th position there, and the top 6 is now whittled down to 5th position there. Goodness gracious me. Excuse me. Let me get rid of what we know. There we go. Much better. Fantastic stuff indeed. Ooh, I thought Julian was heading to the wall there. I thought you overcorrected the car. But of course, absolutely no problem whatsoever there for Julian. Just watching Village here in 15th position. Of course, Village has scored in every single Grand Prix this season, and his worst result was back in the Chinese Grand Prix. But that was after it all came a bit unstuck there. But of course, Village now driving the Ferrari. He's had a 2nd position, he's had a 5th position, and he's had a 6th position as well for Village. He's certainly got the pace there, but at the moment they're down at the back of the field. He's now been in 13th position there, and Percy has got a 10-second penalty. That pit lane line comes up so quickly. Yeah, and I think that is one of the reasons why it's going to be a one-stopper tonight there, as Delano having a sniff again, but Percy, who was hoping for the undercut here, and he's gone onto medium tires again, Percy, so he's going for a 2-stop strategy. Well, now this is going to get very interesting indeed, that he comes up behind Ayrton, but in front of Sweet, who's also got 2-second penalty as well. Sweet has got past Sweet Crown. Here's the battle at the front, and this is the top 5 at the moment there, as they're slipstreaming each other at the moment. They're also DRSing each other as well as they fly underneath me. You can see we're next to the tram there. Is that the tram on the outside there? Very unique, this Miami circuit is, isn't it? Of course, but that's where the podium is as well. It's a very impressive podium, to say the least. Then. Is it the most impressive of the season then? Potentially. Maybe Las Vegas is more impressive. Maybe Mexico. Maybe Monza. Goodness me, there's so many great podiums over the season, and of course I don't think the drivers are going to be too concerned about where the podium's located in this one. There's Percy's past Ayrton. I think they're going more concerned about getting on the podium firstly, and of course acquiring more points then for their championship campaign. Village on the back now of the Williams of Legende, or Legends there, as Serious Pressure has really thrown me a curveball. And now through and up into 12th place there is Legends there. Not fighting too hard there, because I think the Legends knows that the medium tire is starting to fall off, which is why Village's teammate Percy came to the pits last lap there. That 10-second penalty. Nameless is the first driver I think to come in, and it's not at a penalty there. Back at the front then, we've also got Legende in the pits as well, so pit action there for the Williams and for the Red Bull. I was losing about 2 seconds a lap after 10 laps, so I don't think a 2-stop is viable, says Gino then. And of course, as well as Williams, of course, are not going to make it to the Barcelona shakedown, are they? And unfortunately for Williams as well, apparently they're overweight. Tell me about it, Williams, tell me about it. I'm overweight as well. But unfortunately, unlike me, the Williams team do have a deadline to try and shave that weight as quickly as possible before the start of the season. Then, of course, there's 2 more tests after this week. Then, of course, this is a shakedown in Barcelona behind closed doors, and there's been a lot of security. I've been watching a lot of it on the old social media, and it's been very interesting of how strict it's been. It sounds like a military operation over there, doesn't it? Of course, the second test will not be behind closed closed doors, of course, in Bahrain for, I think it's sometime in early February, and of course, and I think there's one at the end of February before we get going on the 6th, 7th, and 8th of March, which I cannot wait. And I must say, I do like the look of the cards. They look very nice indeed. I also like the sound of the Audi power unit. Power unit, yeah, it is power unit, isn't it? I do like the sound of the Audi power unit as well. Really good indeed. Then very excited about the new season. One stop is hard. I was losing about 2 seconds. Oh, Dom, ever so 30 position. Someone's improving. Who's a good boy? Says Dom. As into the pits comes Pease as well. Well, I know that Hugo's a good boy, as of course it is his birthday today. So happy birthday to Hugo, which I've said already. But I'm going to say it again because I'm hoping that Hugo gives me a kiss next time he sees me. Lap 9 out of 29 here in Miami. So currently Flippy is trying to get out of DRS and Pease is in the pits. So as it stands, Nameless and Pease who are going side by side, I think, here. I think Pease has got the advantage. He now has to warm up those tyres, doesn't he? Does Pease and try and extend this gap then. But Nameless is very much in DRS range of as Hilton, and Hilton is lost out to Percy. And these two great drivers there have not really crossed paths when they're both at their peak. Both drivers are really struggling at this stage of their careers, unfortunately, as it's very much a young man's game now in Grand Prix racing with the likes of Flippy, Brabbit, Mehdi and Kieran all coming through the ranks and showing how quick they really are there. Chazza all over the gearbox now of Village, who's now made his way to a position, and of course here's Cam who's leading this gaggle of cars here, whilst Brabbit is all over the gearbox of Van Bon. I'll be interested to know what happened to Sweet then. Sweet has had to come in early and has of course got a 10-second penalty. Sweet was in a very comfortable 4th position before he's seen him facing the wrong way at the end of turn 17 now. Brabbit's gone in wide there, and that is going to really encourage Mehdi now, who of course would have been on pole position but had a 5-place grid penalty. If you just joined us, I know I've repeated it. I'm going to repeat it because I'm very much like broken record. Flippy's out of DRS of Van Von is now that is a crucial part of this race. Then mark it down. Lap 10. Flippy out of the. Oh, it's Brabbit snaking away. Who said that? Who said it was difficult to do a one stop? I can't remember who it was that. Oh, Cameron said one stop is a hard way to go. Whilst Gentleman was mentioning a 2-stop is not viable either. I love these kind of races where it's very much up in the air between this strategy. I do love these are probably one of the better races. Then what's happening? It is the Ferrari on the outside of Kieran here, and the other McLaren's gone wide of Equals. Equals has missed the corner completely, and here comes the Villas, and it's Kieran is squeezing the Ferrari. Two into one, can't go around. Where are we? Let's go on board. I think the Villas has had to get out, but I apologise. That's rubbish camera from Mr. Director. I blame Favre. Out of turn 16 as well. Poor Favre. Out of turn 16 then, and now Village all over the back of Kieran. Kieran has not got DRS. So it's like a barn door on the back of that McLaren. Here comes Village then. He's on the outside. He takes 7th position. Brabbit's in the pits. I'm not surprised by that. Kieran there is squeezing the Ferrari, and that is beautiful driving from both drivers. And Kieran got the Ferrari just about a nose cones whip into between himself and the barrier. Hard but fair racing. That's how I like it. Fantastic. But still, these guys are battling, and I think that they're doing a good job there. Brabbit has had to come in the pit, so he's going to go for the undercut now. Where is Brabbit going to come out? There he is. And has he got? Oh, he's gone over the white line now. But I think that the stewards are asleep there because Brabbit has gone away with that. There, of course, that could have been a 5-second penalty, or it could have been even worse then, couldn't it? Of course, back in my day, of course, that used to be a drive-through penalty. I remember Ralph Schumacher cost him a very good result in. Was it the European Grand Prix 2002 at the Nürburgring, wasn't it, where he went over the white line and cost himself valuable positions there? I think anyway. It's around that time. 2001 and 2 really just merged into one for me. Village is through. Village is through. The Ferrari's through as well. I'm looking at the wrong barrel. Here comes Village, and he forces Kieran out wide. But Cam is just very much in front of him there because Village was stuck, but he's got through. And goodness gracious me, and good stuff indeed there for Village. It's getting very heated in this battle for 5th and 6th there. As Van Von is lost out because Mehdi is through, and he's into 2nd position there. That is perfect. And now here here comes Percy, who's also through passes Equals as well, and Brabham's got past Delano. There's a lot of overtaking all of a sudden here in this one. The McLaren is having a look. Van Von's had enough. He's into the pits now for the Haas car. So the top three have not pitted. Julian's not pitted. We're not surprised by that. Who's that into the pits? I think that's the other Red Bull of Van Von. I think it is a lot of pit stops here, but no one has gone over the no one's gone over the threshold in the pit lane now. Of course, so we had a lot of 10-second penalties at the opening stage of this race, but I think they're in the river now. So the gap is 2.1 seconds, whilst Medi has been fighting and getting his way up into second position. Now got a clean bit of air, but I think that Julian is going to be the quicker driver now out of the top three because he's on the hard tyres. And here he comes. Brabham is all up. We'll come back to the minute because Brabham's up the inside. 7th position there for Brabham. I've missed 2nd position. And Julian is through on the hard tyres. Shame on me, Mr. Director. Julian is up into 2nd position. Medi dropped down to 3rd. He's gone a bit deep there. Is that going to encourage Medi? It absolutely will. Brabham's going to get a 2nd position now as well. Look at that, he's passing up into 6th position. Equals there. There's Chaz having a look as well. Chaz looking very competitive tonight. Both him and Delano should have and could have been a bit further up the grid than they made a mistake on their final runs in qualifying, but they are driving absolutely supreme tonight. Really good stuff indeed there for those drivers. And what about the two Ferrari drivers? Percy is on a 2-stop strategy. So Percy there is going to go aggressive. Look at that conga line behind him. So I'm wondering if Vilash is going to let his teammate through, but he cannot race too much time because both Ferrari drivers are on a mission at the moment. Pease is past Chazza. Van Von is past Nameless as well. It's getting very cozy in this hairpin. And look at that, it's Nameless. I thought Nameless was going to have a lunge there on Van Von, but he decides better of it. And look at that Williams car, very much struggling on traction, and that's Chazza who's coming to the pit lane. So we've got into the pits now comes Flippy and Medi. Medi are both in the pits, and Flippy is as well. So the race leader and the man who's second in the Grand Prix coming out of the pits out. There's the Aston Martin. You just did a glance at the green machine. He comes out of the pits now behind the Red Bull, and Medi is a second. Alpine have done a really good job there. They've turned Medi around quite quickly. The gap is down. It's found about 7/10 of a second. Impressive stuff indeed there for Medi. He is on a mission tonight. Flippy needs to get past Pronto. This is now the most. This is the most crucial part of the Grand Prix. Evening all missed the first half of the race. Serious Mushroom there. Shocking stuff indeed, Mushroom. Absolutely disgraceful behaviour. However, I think, of course, I think I mentioned that you might have been visiting your dad in the hospital. Of course, hopefully he's doing well. Is a Mushroom Senior. Just watching Flippy at the moment. All over the gearbox now of the Haas driver of Pease. My goodness me, he's pushing him up the hill there. Look at that. The gap is now under a second. Glenn's Medi. Oh, Venom's got a 3-second penalty as a Pease. Oh, I thought he was going into the inside wall there. Kieran's past Sweet Crown as they're on different strategies. Brabham's past the Vilash, who of course is also on different strategies as well. Look at the heat haze coming off of the tarmac there. And here comes Flippy. Cuts across the Haas car as we go into turn 17. Magnificent stuff indeed. And Medi's got past Nameless as well. But no, it's to be back here. Oh, as almost Peas are losing the car, keeping it on the straight and narrow just about. Back into turn 1. Oh, family trouble. Oh, goodness me. Well, I hope everything's okay. Hopefully everything's okay, Mushroom. Percy's at the fast of the race and is now up to first there somehow. Goodness gracious me. Just watching as Percy is leading the race, isn't he? Oh, well, he's now. No, he's not. He's somehow Percy is leading the race somehow, but I don't think that's the case. He is down around where the second Alpine driver is there. So Percy, I don't think is leading the race. Otherwise, he's got an absolute incredible lead there. So Julian leads, Brabham in second position, Vilash in third in that second Ferrari. So now watch Percy. He's going to go to the end now on those hard tyres, and of course those hard tyres have done umpteen laps less than the drivers around him there. So watch Percy fly. Flippy is all over the back of Van Von. Van Von is the highest runner, apart from Brabham, actually, who is pitted on these hard tyres there. Just flying past us now as well. Hopefully the tower will sort itself out. Go on, Vilash, Fog, and Percy. As Medi is through, passes Pete as well. Medi is back in this one now. I almost swallowed my tongue there. Out of turn 17 as well. So at the moment, Percy leads by 50 seconds. That is not right, by the way. Hopefully hopefully the tower will sort itself back out in a minute. As Flippy has got the fast on the race. He's starting the motor now, but Medi has really hammered the gap down in this stage of the Grand Prix. During getting past the traffic, then this is going to be crucial for the outcome of this race. I'm sure of it. Villash is next in front of us, but Villash has not stopped, nor is Julian even. Those are the only two drivers that are yet to stop at this moment in time now, I believe. So, look how much more grip has that Aston Martin driver got then. Of course, Flippy does lead the Drivers' Championship as a moment in the very early stages of this one. Here comes Flippy. Now, can Flippy get past Van Von? Van Von has got similar life and time, but Flippy is going to try and go on the inside, but he swoops on the outside as Van Von, think he's got boxed in now, has Flippy. As, goodness gracious me, Flippy wanted to go on the inside there, but Van Von was not allowing the gap. And now going on the outside is Flippy. He passes the Ferrari driver. Villash has dropped down the order. As, goodness gracious me. And now Medi is through, passes Villash as well. As Villash made a mistake, he's ghosting. I'm not sure if that's good or not, is it? That's unfair. Pease is through as well, so Villash has lost a couple of positions there. And now here comes Medi. Of course, won a Grand Prix. I said the last week, it's out breaking through the glass ceiling. Has now Medi got that win. Now he's going to really, absolutely excel, that's the word, excel now. And of course, getting your first win. Hamilton got his first win in Canada, then won the next race in USA. Is Medi going to win in Saudi Arabia, then win in Miami? Kind of the same place in the world, I suppose. Albeit they're opposite ends, aren't they? So currently, as it stands at the moment, and Villash is out of the Grand Prix, so that is sad then for the Ferrari driver. That's the first retirement of Villash's career, and that's a big shame indeed there for the Ferrari, and out of the Grand Prix. It's Villiasen. There's no Ash in his name, says Serious Mushroom. How dare you correct me? I'm never wrong. Sadly though for Villias, he is out of they are out of the Grand Prix, and that's our first retirement of this race. Currently, as it stands at the moment, if you just joined us and wondering how is Percy 55 seconds up the road, then we're on a flashback from season 9 of ALR, where Percy won his one and only world championship at the moment. He could win more, but at the moment Percy is not leading the race as far as I'm aware. It is Julian who's leading the race with Brabant in second, with Van Von in third, with Flippy fourth, Medi in fifth position. Pease is in sixth. Seventh is Pease. Eighth position is Nameless. No, seventh is Nameless. Eighth is Sweet. Ninth is Calvin. Legends in 10th position at this moment there. Unless I am absolutely wrong, and it is as Julian and Ishiko in the pit lane now. He slowed right down in the pit lane. Brabant leads the race then. Yeah, there's Percy then. So Percy is right down the order. He is currently behind the McLaren of Equals, so he's in 16th position there. So Julian in the pits then, so he's going on medium tyres now. That's 12 laps on the medium compound tyres. Sweet is back in. He's going to have to serve that 10-second penalty as well. So it's a double whammy. Back on board with Medi, who is very much at the moment got the bit between his teeth then. Not guilty, I never mentioned him. But you was thinking about it, wasn't you, Bush? Out of turn 8 then. So Sweet then is a Sweet Crown. It's at the pass of the race as the other Sweet is in the pits at the moment. And that is going to be on the medium tyres at the end of the Grand Prix as well. It's still very overcast here. I've heard no mention of rain in Miami. But, of course, we had a very wet sprint race, didn't we, around here? Was it this season or last season? I do not know. Just watching Flippy then. Flippy would like to get past Van Von quickly here because Medi is absolutely flying out there in the Alpine, isn't he? Remember, Medi had flashes of brilliance last season, didn't he? Of course, before he had to sit on the sidelines for the rest of the season. But goodness me, he has come back and really flying at the moment, isn't he? Just watching Flippy at the moment now, who is gaining on Van Von here. He's going to be too far away though, isn't he? So he's going to really be hurted in the first sector there, where it's very painful, where you get all the dirty air. So currently, as it stands moment, Percy's going to the end of the race on the hard tyres. Julian has got past Van Von. There he goes. Not Van Von, Calvin. He's got past number 2 position. Julian's going to be quick. Kieran is also past Legends as well, but I think that Kieran's going to have to pit again. Nameless is in the pits after 9 laps, so Nameless, I think, has changed his strategy on the slide here. Nope, Percy is leading, says Sirius Bushra. He's leading by 1:02. That's an incredible. This is the most dominating racer you've ever seen in ALR history. Have we? Goodness gracious me. Knowles is going to come back and says, goodness me, what has Percy had for breakfast? I think he's had his shredded wheat. He's fantastic. But I think that something's gone wrong with Percy's transponder because he is currently behind the second McLaren of Equals as through goes Flippy and up into third position there. Now, can Medi get through? Passes the Haas car as quickly as possible. There's a Van Von then who has been very quick, but unfortunately, I think the race pace of the Haas car is starting to drop off at this stage there. And now, just a second of the road is Brabant, and he's got 2-lap Oda hard tires, and this could be a tyre limited circuit then. Well, it is a tyre limited circuit, and this could be a very interesting end to the race. And with 10 laps to go, is anyone going to? I think some are going to have to stick and twist here, aren't they? I think that some of them are going to have to come back in the pits, surely. And I am serious. Don't call me surely. God love the Ferrari glitch, says Farf. What do you mean, Farf? Percy's absolutely leading up there. He's doing a fantastic job, isn't he, Percy? It's unfortunately. It's when Percy came in the pits, I think it was, Legend is past Kieran. Kieran blocking up both front tyres. They're going to be 50 pence pieces by the end of this one. Or is it 50 cent in USA? Both Legends and Kieran in. Oh, Legends has got a 10-second belt. That is heartbreak for the Williams. Of course, not only are Williams now overweight, as we heard earlier on this evening, and now unfortunately, not on this game, I mean in real life, unfortunately for Williams, they've also missed the shakedown in Barcelona, but which I think, are they the only official team that have said that they're missing it so far? I think there's a rumour Aston Martin are missing it as well, aren't they? I know glitched me into third last week then, so Sirius Mushroom. It glitched you from first to third, did it, Mushroom? Absolutely disgraceful this game is, isn't it? Percy is 13th technically, says Farpen. Yeah, so Percy is currently sat in between Nameless and Equalset is Percy in that second Ferrari. So we've got to keep an eye on that, and someone's got to remind me that when we do the standards on Friday night then. Because that's what I do when we start. So Van Von then is still in front of Medi here then, so I'm quite impressed with Van Von. So I reckon that Van Von decided to let Flippy past here, and is now being towed along quite nicely now, and that has bridged the gap between himself and Brabant, which means that now Van Von is sitting very happy, and now we've got the 4-car battle in the Grand Prix lead again then, haven't we? We did have 5, but Julian currently on the alternative strategy in the on the medium shot Mercedes, and the other driver that was on that alternative strategy was Billy. What did Sirius Russian say? Villius, that's it. Well, I don't know what ALR is playing at, having a commentator that can't pronounce the name. Shocking stuff indeed, isn't it? Disgraceful. Oof. Goodness me. I'm going to be honest, I think I might have to make a quick escape after the interview tonight then. Goodness gracious me. 11th now then for Percy, just outside the points is Percy at the moment, and he is quick at the moment as well then, because of course, even though that gap then of 1 minute and 3 seconds is not legit, he is quicker than Brabant at the moment, is Percy. So as much as it's annoying that our tower's not right, that is P's and Nameless are fighting for position. Of course, and here comes Flippy. There goes Flippy, and that is the Grand Prix lead here in I was going to say South Africa. Here in Miami. If only it was South Africa. We'd love to go back to Kyalami one day. Flippy takes the lead. Brabant is second, and Van Von is in third position. And Medi has stalled out here, hasn't he? So Medi is trying to get past Van Von here. So Flippy has done a very good job of getting past, navigating these drivers, and is now leading the race. The problem for Flippy is he's now going to have to look over his shoulder here, and he's going to have to probably get defensive down the back straight. But can Brabant keep up with Flippy? Flippy has got 2 laps younger tyres, which doesn't sound like a lot. Into the pits comes Equals. Only 7 laps for Equals on those tyres. So Pease is now 8th position there. Pease is sitting very pretty in 8th position there. Nameless is now in 9th, and he is following Pease at the moment. Cam is back into 10th position. Here is the battle. I think Flippy's done just about enough, and he has his he's got a very good distance between himself and Bravitt. Van Von is starting to drop back at the moment, as is Medi as well then. So the top 4 are starting to spread out. Julian has got the gap down by half a second once again. 12th, my Jesus Christ, Emerson. That I think that Emerson there very much burning the candle at both ends, isn't he? Emerson is there. He's very much like a young Jensen Button there. He's very much living the life of a playboy, isn't he? Just watching Bravitt here as well. Oh goodness me! I almost swallowed my tongue again. You got it right, says Serious Mushroom. Have I? Cracking. I wish. Oh, but as Sweet then, of course, we had an issue down at the back end of the circuit as Emerson is fighting with Kieran here, and Emerson there is not giving up, is he, in the battle for 13th, 14th and 15th finish there. Kieran is on fresher tyres than Emerson. There's Chazza in the background as well, so Emerson has got a lot of attention on him at the moment there, so hopefully he doesn't buckle. Just watching Sweet then, who's going to have to get defensive, because in the background is Legends, and who is gaining, but not gaining enough, and Legends is going to have to stay behind at the moment. Emerson on the inside. Percy is out of the race, and both Ferraris have come into the pit lane and called it a day. So that's a shame now for Ferrari, because both Ferraris, as here comes Chazza down the inside as well. The yellow flags is for the Ferraris. Both Ferraris who've had a very difficult start in the Drivers' Championship, but both Ferraris have come into the pits and called it a day. And that is a shame indeed that Percy was up to 11th or 10th position, I believe, but unfortunately he's out of the Grand Prix now, and there's going to be no points either. It kind of helps me in a way, because when I come to the standings on Friday, at least I don't have to remember that. But however, for Percy, still no points after 4 races there. Just remember, it's a Vilas Fog, and put a V in front instead of an F. So Vilas Fog. As yellow flag is what's happened. As we've just got Nameless getting past Delano. This is a great drive from Delano. However, I think that Delano is going to be looking over his shoulder with 7 laps to go, because in the background is Cam, is Sweet there, who are on fresh and medium tires. So I think that Delano is going to be hoping that those medium tires are going to fall apart by the end of this one. Thank you very much for joining us tonight. Of course, keep your comments coming in there. I need help with what's going on there, so we've already heard that I cannot say driver's name then. Both Ferraris out of the Grand Prix, unfortunately. Hopefully it is not a sign of things coming F1 2026 there. Of course, but I must say that it has not been good sounds coming out of the Maranello team, has there? And unfortunately, in the opening stage of this championship in ALR Gold, Ferrari have only scored 18 points, I believe, and so very disappointed indeed. That yellow flags, and is one of the Aston Martins are crawling. That's Ruthless getting out of the way. Very good stuff indeed for Ruthless. I wouldn't have done it, but that's because I'm not a nice guy. Van Von is just about keeping himself in DRS. As Serious Mushroom has given me the G's Louise in the comment section as well. 16 episode 16. I'm sure that's Emerson's reaction as well. But he's now up to 15th is Emerson, so good stuff indeed. Of course, as I mentioned, it's very difficult to get back into Grand Prix racing after years out. Of course, Michael Schumacher had the issue. Also, Bruno Giacomelli did as well when he returned back to Grand Prix racing after, I think, didn't he retire in 82 and came back in 1990 in that monstrosity of a live car. Of course, I think that's one of the slowest F1 cars in history. I'm sure it took about 7 minutes to get around San Marino. Normally, a quick time around there is about a 1 minute 20, something like that. Of course, when they used to have the final chicane instead of course, they don't have the final chicane anymore, do they? I'm sure it's about 1 minute 20. It was very much on the up game. So. Ayrton better than Emerson there, absolutely. As Emerson currently in 17th position at the moment. Bravitt is keeping up with Fliff, and there's Van Von. The race has gone into a bit of a lull at the moment, hasn't it? As I think that we are very much getting into the action stages, and here comes Mehdi onto the podium now. Is Mehdi, and I'm wondering what he's thinking then. If is there contact between the two cars? There was contact, and that has very much unsettled the Alpine car of Mehdi, but he has got past Van Von. But Van Von will have a dose of DRS down this back straight, whilst Mehdi will not have DRS because he's outside of the detection, and you have to be within a second of the car in front. And unfortunately, Mehdi's not then. And we've also got Cam getting past Delano, but Delano is on older hard tyres, and potentially those medium tyres may not be able to get to the end. Brabham there is running out of, almost into the back of the Aston Martin, and once again, it's the top four fighting tooth and nail for the Grand Prix win here tonight. Albeit the two great rivals of last season, who was battling for third and fourth for the championship, is now for first and second of the World Championship. Potentially, certainly it's for first and second in this Grand Prix. And I'm going to say that it's going to be punch and counter punch, I'm sure of it. Incredible. And I don't know why I've been so sure about anything tonight, because I normally get. Kieran up into 13th position, he's on the back of Legend, and who Legend does have medium tyres on the blower. Whoa, it's defended. Kieran's on the inside. He's going to get past. He does get past. They're going to lock wheels. Legends are just about to stay on the outside. Chatters through. And Legends are staying on the outside. The Williams pair cut across each other as they go down into turn one. And Legends is through. He is. Great racing. But can he stop the car? He can. But Kieran has got the switch back here, and the Williams is sliding. Kieran is through back up into 12th position. Mega race indeed. That this may not be a popular race there for drivers, but goodness gracious me, we've seen some great racing here tonight. And now both Williams are going to lock horns as well. Williams so far have only scored points then by fastest laps, and they haven't scored points by being in the top 10, albeit I think both drivers have been unlucky. And I would repeat this, Delano and Chazo were very unlucky in qualifying not to get their final times on the board. I can't believe my controller's still going, because I must say that I thought that my controller was going to die at the end of this one. But so far, so good. I forgot to turn it off when I was binge watching Stranger Things last night. Emerson down to 16th position now. For Emerson then. Is he washed? That's what I'm hearing in the comment section. No one said that yet, but I might type it in. But Emerson down in 16th position. But of course, as we mentioned, even the great Michael Schumacher, when he returned back to Grand Prix racing in the Mercedes of 2010, only got one podium, didn't he, on his return then? So you can't just step foot in a car and expect to be quick, of course. So it takes a lot of skill, a lot of might, and a lot of precision and skill. I've said skill twice then, but that's twice as important. As yellow flag, there's an Alpine off. I think it's Ayrton. Ayrton's come off at that Mickey Mouse chicane. As I've spared his blushes for now, because I was unfortunately not had my hand on the controller. Where was your hand, should I hear you ask? No comment. Kieran is in 12th position, Chaz in 13th, and Cam's got a 3-second penalty. That could be costly. Currently, Delano's outside that 3-second window, but I am expecting Delano to have the pace towards the end of this race. Lap 26 out of 29 here tonight. Back at the front then. Once again, I think I'm going to be honest, Flippy and Brabham then. This is becoming a absolutely monumental rivalry, isn't it? It's a friendly rivalry at the moment there. It's like Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri, but this could get very meaty indeed. This could get very interesting indeed. That is Sweet. No, wrong one. Sweet is on the inside. It's the Sweet and the Sweet. They're fighting for position here. Whoa, they're now on the outside. As Sweet, as the green Sweet is in front of the pink Sweet, and up into 10th position. There goes Sweet. Crown down to 11th position, as of course there's a lot of alternative strategies out here, and it's been very impressive indeed. As I'm loving this race. Oh, look at Flippy, he's found 3/10 of a second in the opening stage of this lap alone. Fabulous from Flippy, mega stuff indeed then. So Brabham there is going to try and keep within DRS range, because that is crucial for the outcome of this Grand Prix. And look at the understeer there on that kick Sauber. Brabham there would like to have had the car turning a bit more there, but he had to crank the wheel, which would have put more pressure on those hard tyres. But Brabham is in DRS, and that is the crucial part of this race. And I got to go back to this battle, because Chazza and Kieran are having an almighty scrap for as Kieran's got a 3-second penalty, and Chazza is through back up into 12th position now. What an incredible battle in the second McLaren. If Equals is also going to join the party as well. Williams against McLaren. Is it 2005 again? Absolutely it is there. 2005. I think, yeah, I think I'm a bit early for that one anyway, because I think it was Renault in McLaren, wasn't it? Maybe I should have said 1992 and 1991 potentially. Of course, there in those golden years of growth racing. Having said that, I do prefer the mid to late 90s personally, but that's because I'm old. Here comes Kieran again. Then Kieran wants to go on the inside. Instead, he goes on the outside, and that chance of that park in the car. Absolutely splendidly well. He has gone deep, though. But this corner here, that is very much after you, Squire, isn't that? Of course, there's only a one-way street at this part of the course. Then, of course, you do have DRS and under the overpass and, or over the underpass. And I sound like the Wombles now. Overground, underground. And as they're now coming on the back straight once again, Kieran then waiting for DRS. He's going to have a beep in his ear. There he goes. The rear wing is open. Of course, we'll have active air next season, and this is the last season we'll have DRS cuts across the wheels as we go into turn 17. Can Chaz then repeat his trick from last lap then? This is great racing. Remember that this, as Kieran's gone wide, Kieran has had enough. He's into the pits there. And Kieran might be trying to maybe get a fastest lap here, potentially, as now Chaz in 12th position. There are the penalty situations at the moment there. Cam has got 7 seconds over Delano. Delano is struggling still. Those medium tires are hanging on very well for Cam. Impressive 17. Legends has a 10-second penalty, unfortunately, in his account. Flippy's out of DRS range now with Brabant in second, Medi in third position. Ayrton is wandered off the circuit in the back straight, and we've got Van Von in fourth position, Julian in fifth. The alternative strategy is not paid off. Ayrton's got a speed in fine then, so of course that is coming out of the piggy bank as we got Sweet up into ninth position there. Down into 10th goes Delano, and Sweet Crown might be able to get past, and of course his namesake has just got past Delano. Can he help himself as well? Ayrton's gone soft. So is Ruthless, so is Legends, and so has Kieran then. So it could be a battle for qualifying laps now, and that's what I like to see. That's the beauty about this fastest lap, isn't it? Of course, the reason why real F1 doesn't have the fastest lap or all the positions is because it would turn into a Formula E farce from a few seasons ago. Was it in London, where it was Degrassi and Bo Webby? Who's that? Sweet is completely off the circuit there. Goodness gracious me. He's on the outside of the other Sweet. And Sweet down into 11th position. It's been a painful race for Sweet, sadly. He will still get himself back in the top 10. Delano is going to fight for every inch of the circuit then. And I'm going to say, I'm not going to even be shy about this one. Come on, Delano. What a drive you've had. And on 17 lap out hard tyres there. It's on the same strategy as the drivers in front. And I reckon that would have been the fastest strategy today, I would say. Van Von's had an issue somewhere. He's dropped completely off the pace, and Julian is now all over the gearbox then. So Van Von could lose his fourth position here then after starting on the front row. So it's mission critical for the Haas driver. And here comes Flippy then. What a race has been from Flippy as Van Von's off the circuit. We just left that battle there, and Van Von has dropped down to 5th position there, so something's gone wrong there, unfortunately, but we'll hopefully get a count of that in a minute. Delano's dropped down the order as Flippy wins the Miami Grand Prix. That's his 5th win of his career. Flippy extends his lead in the World Drivers' Championship there. A great race indeed, as Ayrton's got a 10-second penalty, and now Delano's up the inside. He is fighting. They've come together, and oh my goodness gracious me, and Delano's chance for points had come to nothing there. Oh my goodness gracious me, that is heartbreaking for the Mercedes driver as they were battling so hard, and Chaz is down to 10th position there, but here comes Equals and wants to get that final point then in the battle between the Williams and McLaren, who've had an absolute battle royale today. Chaz on 10, 11 laps on hard tyres, whilst Equals on medium tyres across the line. Chazza 10th, 11th Equals. Delano, what a shame there for Delano in 12th, and Sweet and Delano come together again, unfortunately. My goodness gracious me. Oh, that is such a shame then. It really is indeed then, unfortunately for Delano. I'm absolutely devastated, to be honest, for Delano. Kieran salvages a point for fast lap as well for the McLaren driver. But Williams carries on their scoring streak then, because they've scored a point in every single race so far. So hats off there to Legends, Chazza, and to to Legends Chazza and Chazza again, who of course Williams on a point scoring streak then, albeit as look at the refair from Flippy, fantastic 17. Let's take a further look at the classification. Emerson with the most overtakes, fantastic. Driver of the day goes to Equals. I must say I forgot about doing the driver of the day. So if anyone wants to vote for driver of the day, well, not vote for driver of the day, put your comments in who reckons who should be driver of the day. I think the sweet crown for top Chazza maybe might be a shout as well. Flippy is 5th Grand Prix win of his career. He wins the Miami Grand Prix and extends his lead in the Drivers' Championship. Brabbit is second today then. Great battle between Brabbit and Flippy, but in the end I think the Brabbit's tires fell off a cliff. Mehdi would have been on pole position there. That qualifying may have cost him potentially. Julian in 4th position with Pease in 5th and Van Von in 6th position. One between Julian and Van Von. Hopefully we'll find out before tomorrow's stream. Nameless in a superb 7th with Cam in 8th position, Sweet in 9th, and 10th position is Chazza. Outside the points is Equaz in 11th, Delano in 12th, 13th is Sweet, Emerson in 14th with Kira again fast up in 15th, Legends in 16th, Ayrton in 17th, Venom in 18th position. Both Ferraris retired from the race. I do not know what happened to either of the Ferraris, but both of them are out of the Grand Prix. Then they came in the pits and retired from the race. So that is disappointing indeed for the Scuderia, and still only 18 points so far in their points tally in this World Championship as well. Oh, right. Let me sit down. Where's my laptop? I do not know. That's not good, is it? I think I've got Mehdi, Brabbit, and Flippy has not joined just yet. So hopefully, Farf, we're going to shift on. And just going to let's interview these two young men for now. Brabbit, a great second position today. Then you and Flippy had a great battle at the front there in the end. Then, but do you think pitting early may have cost you ultimately today?
To be honest, I think pitting early was necessary to close the gap or to make an undercut against Flippy. Flippy was flying away at the first stint, and I think Cass and myself were losing the 1 second window to him. So I was going the aggressive strategy to pit a lap earlier or 2 laps earlier. And yeah, in the second stint it worked out. Like I think the first 8 to 9 laps I was leading. But then when Flippy arrived, I had no chance to defend. Like I only could defend for a lap and then my EAS would be empty. So I tried to stay with him until the end and then I could maybe make a move. But my tires were screaming and were burning a lot. I had like 86% tire wear and I was really afraid of losing the rear right tire because of a puncture. So this was the reason why I was losing Flippy in the last few laps. But I think P2 is good. Flippy was just again on another level, and congrats to Flippy. It's a well-deserved win.
Do you find this era of Formula One a bit frustrating then with the limited tires then? Because of course you did go for the undercut and it did elevate you up a few positions. But do you feel that the Formula is too much dependent on tire wear these days?
I think this is the advantage of this game. Like I really like this kind of way to race. So this tire management is already or is really a thing in this game. I prefer it because in real life it's also the case. So I personally like it, but in some cases or in some races really it's a little bit annoying when you have a safety car and the whole strategy is gone when you are saving some tires for the end of the stint and you cannot use it because of the safety car. But I personally I prefer it. I think it will lead to exciting races where the better driver will decide the race until a safety car came out.
You mentioned that you was having a second today. Do you think that you mentioned about safety cars may also throw a curveball in? Was this one of the days where you would have liked a safety car potentially to maybe throw a curveball in and potentially throw a curveball Flippy's way, or was second the best you was going to do today?
To be honest, I was not thinking about the safety car at all because I was so focused to stay in the rhythm and to try to fly away from Flippy and the following drivers, but it was not possible. And last week I would needed a safety car because I think I drove from last to P7 or P6, and then there was a 10 or 20-second gap. There would have been a safety car really good in my for me, but today I think it not was not necessary. But I think it's also good if we have a race without a safety car because we can make an exciting race by ourselves.
Absolutely, I don't need any more excitement. Well done today, Brabbit. Great drive to second position. Magnificent driving indeed. Let's come to Medi,
Thank
who
you.
finished third today. But the question on my mind, Medi, is what happened in qualifying? You had a five-place grid penalty, which ultimately cost you pole position. There was a collision between you and Kieran. What happened in quali?
Yeah, I don't know. In my first outlaw, I think, my first running quali, I was looking at the minimap. I saw the McLaren slow down after a lap. I think his lap was finished. So I was getting out of the pit in the pit lane, but uh, he just hit me from the back and spin me, and I don't know why the game gave me like five grid positions. Also, uh, like it wasn't only unlucky thing I got today. I think in stint two today from the Ferrari I got damaged. So from lap 15 or 16 I was doing the race with yellow wing there.
And talk about how costly that was then with that yellow wing then, because you did a very good job, but I think in the final couple of laps you did start to struggle, and I think you were struggling to get past the Haas car as well. Was that a factor because of the damaged front wing?
Yeah, of course. In the first stint was my pace was so good. I was recovering so well. I just uh, I just kept down the distance to Felipe. I think to 1 second in second stint in start of second stint. My position was so good. The overcut was working so good for me. But in 3 or 4 laps later, I think the Ferrari was willing to retire and was just trying to let the cars pass. But for me, he made a mistake and gave me damage. So this damage, like from when you don't have any tire deck at the first of the scene, it's good. But when you go on in the scene and when your tires are like above 60%, that's wing damage gonna change so many of the things in the race. So it was impossible for me to get back into the DRS after the Haas in front of him made a mistake and put us out of the DRS.
And I would say go and and I'll say the reason you was probably in that position as well because of the issue in qualifying. Do you think if you started on pole position then that you would have had a better result today, maybe second or maybe the win? Do you think without that five-place grid penalty, this ultimately cost you at least 10 points today?
Yeah, of course. Like this game bug, I think it's so unfair. Maybe like we should they should develop an option to just remove the grid penalties after the qualifying, and maybe like that's why all the other leagues they're restarting the lobbies after the qualifying. But anyway, if I was starting from the pole position, I could like do tire saving much more. Even I could do for one more lap overcut there, and my fight with Felipe was gonna be so much more exciting than tonight here because in the first season, all I was trying was to recover the positions I was losing from the qualifying.
So would your advice be that the admin should have probably reviewed the footage during qualifying so that then you could have had a fair chance in the race?
Yeah, of course. I think like restarting the lobbies. I think the only unfair point is to we cannot have park firm anymore. But anyway, like with these games or with so many bugs, I think we had to do such a thing, or at least in some examples like this, when such a thing happened, we can restart the lobbies. I think because it's a little bit unfair. I had the pole by I think 3 or 4 tenths tonight, and I was starting from six, losing one position, starting from seven actually. So I don't know, but I take it. Like I was happy from podium, so I just saw it as a story, starting from seven to three. It was a good journey and it was fun, but championship-wise, I would be happy to start from pole, and I'm so confident I could challenge Felipe to for the win tonight.
And yeah, and then if we turn on this head then as well, because because your pace day has been absolutely superb. Then, so could you take a positive that the last couple of races you've been very much on par with race winning pace? Then, so could you be happy with that to take away from that going into the next race?
Yeah, of course. For every race, I'm gonna just focus on the race. I'm gonna forget what happened tonight. Imola also needs lots of concentration there. Even in the quali, it's so hard. After that, tire management is so crucial there also, like here. So I'm gonna work on Imola from tomorrow. So I'm gonna try my chances next week too.
Good stuff. Well done today, Mehdi. Very frustrating that was from your point of view. And impressive how you knew what the next race was, because I had to check just then. Well done indeed. Flippy, a great win today, your fifth win of your career. And I got to say, apart from that point in the middle of the race where you was coming through the traffic, it looked quite safe there. But or am I just reading this wrong?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, after yesterday's practice session with Mehdi, I kind of like gave up a quality pace. So then today I just kind of spent like a couple hours just kind of making a perfect start for the race. So then yeah, the race itself was kind of not I wouldn't say comfortable, but I feel like it's one of my stronger races. And yeah, it's just the strategy was a bit kind of a bit worrying, like because I saw Steven pitted 2 laps early, Brabus pitting 2 laps early, and normally he has way better tire wear than me, so I thought he might have a big chance of winning the race just because of the traffic situation, but it's just ultimately turned out to my favour, and I kind of got lucky today with every kind of thing that happened in that race, like including Medi's kind of quality shenanigans. Yeah.
Yeah, talk about the traffic as well, because I think that was probably the hot spot of the race for you, because it was looking very tense there, because I think the Medi gained within DRS as well, whereas he was struggling to fight through the traffic. How difficult was it to keep your head? Because it was a lot to lose, considering the fact that he was on the fresher tyres at the time compared to your rivals at Brabham and Cam.
Oh yeah, that lap after I think it was the lap after I boxed. It was on the back, not the back straight, the kind of kinky straight. Like me and I think it was Van Zon and Villiers was gonna go 3 wide, and I needed to break like 200 meters earlier. If not, I would have ended in Villiers' diffuser. So yeah, and I got him on the outside, and I think we kind of made a bit of contact, and then that killed him, which won his race. And I'll have to look at the replay, and I think that was I could have probably stayed behind and whatever. But yeah, and with Medi, I don't like. I was mainly focused on catching Rabbit on the start of second stint. To be fair, I didn't see Medi on second, being a second behind me. But yeah, it was just. I feel like if he didn't get the 5 place grid penalty, it would have been a fun fight at the front, and he would have probably had the better of me. To be fair, like he's got like 4 tenths on me on qualifying as well.
And it says you said that you'll have a fun fight. Do you? I mean, for me, for example, I'll be happy if Medi had a 5 place group penalty because then you get a bit of respite. You as a racer, then, would you rather have had Medi on the front one of yourself? Or are you happy with the advantage, the advantage at the early stages of that race? Then, because you are fighting for a championship, aren't you? So, are you happy to see one of your close championship rivals getting misfortune, or do you feel sorry for your rivals?
I mean, I'm kind of in the middle. I always want kind of like a good competition and good sportsmanship between competitions. So like, I don't pray or be like praise or be happy when someone kind of like technical issues or unfair penalties or whatever. Just like Rabbit last week, I just kind of like it's not something to be happy about. But at the same time, like in terms of the championship, I think I need to capitalize on these kind of unfortunate events for other drivers and my rivals, because the top pack is basically separated by what a good like 1-2 tenths in the race, if even that. So yeah, it's just capitalizing on every single thing that can be advantageous for me.
And of course, we head into Imola, into the first European race of the season in Imola next week. Very difficult track, much more narrow than this Miami, who's basically at the car park. Are you quite confident they're starting your European leg?
Um, Imola, I don't remember what happened last season in Imola, but
Did you
um,
get pole and then had an issue before you got to turn one?
that that was silver when I kind of yeah, that was with Mayran, and like before turn one I think it was a McLaren in between, and then we just kind of like banged into each other like before even before turn one. That was classic. But Yeah, I don't really like the track, but thinking about it, like I didn't like China and I didn't like Miami, so like I might as well just not like every single track so I can win in all the tracks that I hate. But all jokes aside, I don't know. Imola is traditionally like a weaker kind of European track for me. I'm usually faster in European tracks, but I think that goes with most people because people just I think most people, at least in the top pack, doesn't really like the start of the season's tracks like Miami or China, like for example.
But even though a great race day, Flippy, brilliant drive for your fifth Grand Prix win of the season, and of course, fifth of the season, third of the season, and your second of the season, and your fifth of your career. Fantastic stuff indeed. Brilliant job indeed. And that's going to be it then for gold tonight. And Flippy extends his lead in the Drivers' Championship. Then tomorrow night it is Silver's turn as well. Then of course, once again we have another race around Miami. Join us at 7:30 there for some more action of ALR.